Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Data Structures and Algorithm in Python course. In today's lecture, we'll be solving another problem on recursion. So let's see, what is this problem? So in this problem, you will be given an array. And from that array, you have to generate all possible subsequences. What a subsequence means? First, let's understand what does a sub-array means. So if you consider this array, 1 could be one subarray, 1 2 could be one subarray, 1 3 could be one subarray, right? Then 2 could be one subarray, 2 3 could be one subarray, 3 could be one subarray. But tell me 1 3, 1 3, could this be subarray? No, right? This is no, because to subarray, for subarray, what happens? The elements should be contiguous. Means after 1 2 is not there, right? So this couldn't be a subarray, but that could be a subsequence. That could be a subsequence. Means for subsequence the elements doesn't have to contiguous. Means if we take 1 and 3, in between 2 is not there, right? But this will consider as a subsequence. But 3 1, 3 1, this is not a subsequence. Means order has to be the same. What is the order of element in the original array? The order has to be same, right? But the element should be contiguous or non-contiguous. That is the definition of subsequence. Now, if you observe this array, what are the subsequences possible here? First, one could be one subarray, right? One could be one subsequence, right? One single one element. This could be one subsequence. Then 1 2, 1 2 3, 1 3. So if you take 1 and 3, that could be one subsequence. 2 itself could be one subsequence. 2 3 could be one. 3 could be one. An empty array, that could be also a possible subsequence, right? Now, how to print this? To print this, we will use recursion. Let's see how we can do this. So let's say initially I have an array 1 2 3. Okay, this three element. Okay, now what I will do, let's say this one. Okay, what I will do, so every time I have to print a array, right? I have to print a array, and in that array we have to add some element, right? Add some element. In some of the cases it will be 1, in some cases it will be 2, it will be 3, or it will be empty. So initially what we will do, we'll take a empty array, we'll take an empty array. Then what is the next step? Then the next step is we'll consider as first element. So first means we'll be going through each index. First we'll take a empty array. Okay, let's name it as resultant array. Okay, then we'll take a variable index. Okay, index, and initially we'll declare as 0. Means initially we'll be going at first element. Okay, then what we'll do, let's say we are at one element. Okay, one index. Okay, let's say I. Then there what will happen? There we have two choices. What? Either should we include this element or not? Either should we include this element in our resultant array or not? So let's say initially it was empty. Then at index 0, so let's say this is I equals to 0. Okay, this is I equals to 0. Okay, then in one path, let's don't include the element. Okay, so first we are at index 0. Okay, so what is the element is 1. So let's say first don't include that element. That means our resultant array would be same. Okay, empty as it is. And in the next way, so there is other option. What we could do, we could include that element. What is this element is 1. Okay, so first option is don't take, and other option is take that element. Okay, this is done. Okay, then what is the next step? The next step will move to next index. I will be 1. Here will be I will be 1. Okay, so we'll move our pointer from here to here. Okay, then what we'll do, let's change the color also. So this is I equals to 0, right? So let's take another color. let's say this color. Okay. Okay. Now we are at index equals to 1, I equals to 1, right? Then again, we have two options: don't include or include, right? Don't include the element or include. What is this element at index number 1? What is this element? Element is 2. Now, if you don't include the element, the subarray, the resultant array would be empty, because we are not including, we are not appending this. Then the next option could be, let's include this element. Let's include this element. Okay, this is done. Now, for this one also, there are two possibilities. There are two possibilities. So for I equals to 1, here also I equals to 1. Okay. So here also, take this element first, don't include, then include. Okay. So when you don't include, initially it was 1, right? So if you don't include anything, it will be 1. But if you include that, what it will be? Initially it was 1, now append 2. Okay. It becomes 1, 2. Okay. This is step 2. Okay. Then let's go to next element. Okay. Next go to next element. Okay. Now we are at index 2. Okay. Then for each node, we'll do this again. Okay. Now I equals to 2. I equals to 2. Then first, don't include, then include. If you don't include, it will be empty. But if we include, so what is this element? 3, right? 3 will be added here. Then again, for this thing also, this thing also. So I equals to 2 here, and here also I equals to 2, right? I equals to 2. So if you don't include, it will be as it is 2. If you include, what will be the element? Element will be, initially it was 2, then now it will be 2, 3. Okay, right? Now go here, go here. So here also I will be 2, I will be 2. Okay. So here what we'll do, first don't include, then include, right? So if you don't include, it will be 1, right? It will be 1. Then if you include, so initially it was 1, then 3 will be added, right? Now for this also there are two options. So I equals to 2, and here also I equals to 2. So first don't include. So if you don't include anything, it will be 1 and 2. So if you include, it will be 1, 2, then this element 3 will be added. 3 will be added. Now count how many. Okay. Now what will happen? We are coming to last index, right? Now what will happen? We'll move our pointer. Okay. Move our pointer to here. That means this index is not valid, right? That is out of bound. That means we'll stop our execution here. We'll stop our execution here. Then what we'll do? What we'll do when we see that our index equals to length of the array. This is the base case. Okay. If our index equals to length of the array, then whatever the resultant array we have got here. So this is the resultant array for this one. Resultant array for this one. So in this step, what will happen? In this position, what will happen? In this stage, what will happen? I becomes 3, right? So in this step I was 2, in this step I was 1, so in this step I will be 3, right? So it will check if the index equals to length of array. Yes, that means we are out of bound. Then what will happen? Whatever the result we have got, let's print that. Okay, this is our result. Okay, here this is our result. 3 is our result. Then here 2 is our result, right? Then here 2, 3 is our result. Then here 1 is our result, right? Here 1, 3 is our result. Here 1, 2 is our result. And here 1, 2, 3 is our result, right? So if you observe carefully, we got our result. Yes, the order is not same, but we ultimately got our result. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items, right? 8 subsequence. Okay. So here also you can see there are 8. So that means we have successfully printed all subsequence, right? Now, how to write this in code? So what we'll do, let's create a function. Let's name it as step. So let's say generate subsequence, right? GS. Okay. What it will take, so it will basically it will generate subsequence of an array, right? Of an array. So let's create an array here, arr. Okay. So it will take array as parameter, one thing. Then at any stage means we need a index here, right? We need a current index. So index. Okay, that is one parameter. Then another thing, we need an array, resultant array that we want to print. Okay, so let's say name it as resultant array. Okay, that we want to print, that is basically generated through this subsequence. That will be our answer, right? So let's take this. Okay, what is the base case? At any point, if I equals to length of the array, then just return. So if, so let's change the color. First base case, what is the base case? If this index equals to length of the array, that means index is out of bound, right? Then what we'll do, whatever result we have got, we'll print this. So we'll print the result. Okay, then what we'll do, we'll return. Otherwise we'll get stack overflow error, right? This is our base case. Okay, done. Then what will happen, let's say I'm at this stage. Okay, I'm at this stage. Then what will do, I have two options, right? I have two options. What will do, I'll call the same function again, but for this time what will do, I'll increment the index by 1. Okay, so let's write it. Let's change the color. Let's write it as green, or let's take this one. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll call this function again, gs. Okay, first parameter array will be constant, right? That will be same. But for this time, so initially I was 1, right? Now I'll call this function again, but this time index will be incremented by 1, right? So index will be whatever index I have taken plus 1. Clear? This is clear? Okay. Then what we have to pass? We have to pass the resultant array, right? The result. So to take result, there are two options. First, in that resultant array, let's don't include the element. So let's say at this stage, current element is, let's say, 2. Okay, current element is 2. So here actually current element is 3. Okay, here current element is 3. Now if you don't current element, how the resultant array will look like? The same, right? The same. So if you don't include, the resultant array will be same, right? This is one thing. Okay, then another thing, what we do, the another option is same, generate subsequence, pass first parameter as array, and also go to the next element, means go to the next index. Okay, index plus 1. But this time in the resultant array, just include the element, add the element, right? Add the element. So let's say initially the array was empty. Now what we'll do, I'll include the current element. So what is current element? Current element will be arr of index, right? Arr of that index. So if you concat them, so it will ultimately create like this, and then arr of index. If there are some element present already, then that will be added, then it will be concat node with there, right? So let's write it. Okay, so this time if you include the element, the new array will be result plus, then what will happen, so arr of current index, right? So what it will ultimate do, it will ultimately concatenate. So let's say initially there was some item, then whatever the current element, so that will be added, and this new array will be passed as an argument for the next function, right? Because we are calling using recursion, right? So that is how it will work, right? That is how it will work. This is the code, right? That is simple. So let's go to our VS Code and let's see. So first what we'll do, I'll create an array. Okay, so array, let's put some element 1 2 3. Okay, then let's create a function def generate subsequences, right? Generate subsequences, and initially it will take an array and an index and a resultant array, right? Or we can call it as subsequence. Okay, then what we'll do first, base case. What is the base case? So if in any point index equals to length of the array, that means we have to stop here, right? But before stop, we have to print the result. Okay, then we'll just return from here. This was our base case. Then what we'll do, we'll call this function again, but this time we'll increment the index because we want to go to the next element. So okay, then first let's don't include in the resultant array. So we'll do same thing. Then again what we'll do, again we'll call this function. So error, this time also the index will be same, index plus 1, index plus 1. Then result will be modified to result plus, let's create an array, and here the element will be error of index, and let's concatenate them and pass as a new result. Okay, new result array. But this is it, and at last you have to return. So you can write or it will automatically return. So now let's call this, pass this array. Then initially let's pass index as 0, right? And then resultant array as empty array. Now let's see. So if you run, so you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 8 subsequence we have got. So we got our result. I hope now you have understood how we can do this using recursion, right? So this thing you can generalize, like you can create a new array, let's say new race, and it will be let's say race. So let's say it will take empty array, then plus raise. Like you can append this item. You can create a new array, then you can pass it. That will basically do the same thing. We are just directly writing this, right? So I hope now you have understood the problem.